Hello and welcome back to the colony with Man of the Ants, playing some more Empires of the Undergrowth today. Now I did say what I thought we would do today is we'd start improving the formicarium a little bit. So we have these two areas here to build some ranged ants in. We have this area down here to move these workers to as well. And then we can make some speed tiles here. I also talked about possibly breaking up this area here to give us a nice bigger sort of attack area. So it's not too far from the queen, it's not too far from the nest, and then maybe we can even build little channels sort of here so that these ants can get up to the fight up here a bit quicker as well. So I think that's what we're going to probably do today. So we have lots and lots of food. We have plenty of territory left over, and I think that's the number of ants we can have. Population max population, so we've got lots of ants we can build as well. So let's get right on that then. So we need to build these ranged ants here. Oh, it feels nice just spamming down a whole bunch without having to worry about...
The Eruptor workers have raised their first formicarium ant.
Incredible.
Harvesting lots of food to start with. Look at that, just boom, straight there. And then of course on the surface here, we've got two lots of food, and they've already gathered a huge amount of that, and there's another 2,000 odd there as well. So lots of food coming in quickly as well. So for now we'll stick them all in one group, but we will definitely split them into two groups with the ranged and the melee supporting each other. So the ranged workers even, they're going to go outside now and help gather all this food down here. There's so many ants, they're absolutely steaming through it. Look, it's fantastic. So that is our two groups of ranged ants built. We need to upgrade those. I hope we'll have enough food. Oh, I don't know. We'll have enough food to do at least one of them upgraded to level 2. Might be struggling to get to level 3 though. But we have got some time, of course, before we do Formicarium Challenge 2. We have got another 2 levels to go. And if we do those 2 and the challenge modes, we are going to be absolutely rolling in food money, as I like to call it. Now the music cut out there just so I could switch over to the browser. I could see the browser in the background. Just to look at the comments. So a wonderful hello from Kevin. Hello Kevin, how are you? And also a nice from Nigel and a first from Sierra. Glad you're enjoying the series, guys. So CT7813 says, my favourite series by far. Thank you so much, CT. Glad you're enjoying it. So try luring the enemy in the formicarium. He says, sorry for the spelling, but I think it's pretty much... Oh, it's a little off. It's not far off. I mean, I couldn't even tell the difference. I had to look close. And it is an awkward word as well. I get it wrong all the time. To the entrance to the surface, I think he means... Well, he or she, they mean this area here. We could also open up this a little bit, couldn't we? We could open up this... Open up this area here and this area and make sort of a big area here and a big area here, but sort of still have this S effect from the maybe not so much there, but we keep this part in here and this part in here. It still narrows the entrances there and there. I think I quite like that idea actually. Lure them to the entrance to the surface as they seem to get stuck, and that is where the splash damage of the mortar ants is really deadly. So I'm not sure if they mean there or if they mean actually on the surface. I did try to fight the enemy ants on the surface before, but I found the problem was because there are 3 entrances to sort of defend, and when they start coming from 4 directions, it was quite awkward to try and actually make sure that no one really got into the nest. The other ones were so keen on getting in and attacking stuff inside, it's quite hard to stop them getting in. So I'm assuming they mean there. That's certainly where I'm going to focus my efforts. Now, of course, I've just realised they are not gathering any food, are they? Of course not. So let's send them on a food gathering mission. Both groups. We've got these few little wood lice roaming around as well. There's also what's probably a little wood grub, I think they're called, aren't they, over there? And there's another something up there, another wood grub. Yes, we can go get those at some point as well. So let's get that building out. I think I'm going to do this. I'm not 100% sure it's a good idea, but let's... Do I need that? I don't think I need that bit, do I? We've got a nice big area here. And if I do this bit here, I've got a big area at the entrance, and I've got a big area here where I can fight the enemy invaders. Yeah, I like that. So we can easily surround them, but they still have to sort of go through this little S tunnel over here. Right, let's look at upgrading some of these things. We've got the food rolling in now. Let's just power through and do all of them, shall we? Because we're definitely going to be able to do all of them. Oh, name's not sufficiently developed because we need to build a speed tile, of course. Let's build a speed tile there and a speed tile there. And that should allow us to upgrade him to level 2 then. So the 2s, oh, they have got the wood. No, they have the kill that they didn't gather it though. So let's go get the sender 2s up there to actually get. Oh, they won't though because they go for the food. So let's send them for this wood grub first, and then they can come back for the last one once all this food's gone, which it pretty much has actually. So let's send the 1s up there. So you can really see the mix between the level 1s and the level 2 ranged workers or ranged ants, can't you? Well, strangely not so much when you zoom in. I can really notice there's a level 1 and there's a level 2. Look, yeah, there's a fairly noticeable difference in size in there compared to these level 3 melee ones. I'm definitely struggling a little bit. So we've got enough food to do at least 1 level 3. Someone on the last video, not the subjugation challenge, the one before I think it was, commented saying that it's probably better to focus on smaller groups to start with. I mean, it didn't really work so much in the last subjugation level because of the shape of the nest you could build. But focus on the smaller groups, so do like a 7 and get the 7 leveled up before you worry about building either another smaller group or expanding the existing one. Now, I thought that was quite interesting. I have wondered before whether that's actually something that's worthwhile, whether you should get upgraded ants before you get more ants. It's a bit of a conundrum. I think the upgraded ants are worth more in terms of the investment for food you put into them. I think the upgrades you get more return for investment rather than hatching a new ant. But I do think you do also need numbers. If you had, like in the last one, if you had the 7 most powerful ants in the world defending the entrance, it doesn't matter when they get swarmed by 100 little ants because there's enough of them going past that they can grab some of the eggs and run out again. So, a bit 50-50 on that, so we'll have to see how we go. So let's implement our master plan and put 1 there and 2 there. Oh, I never actually split them out into different groups. Ah, yeah, silly clown. So I think for now, let's get 1 group upgraded to 3, shall we? And that's the 1, so the 1 should be the first port of defense right there. Look, perfect. So we should be able to get all of these upgraded to 3 when they do their job. There we go. Perfect. That leaves us a little bit of feed, not a huge amount by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit. So down here, let's delete these tiles. Which gives us a little bit of food, and we can build some speed tiles there at some point. Sorry, there was another comment. Of course, I forgot it. I got so caught up in CT's comment that I forgot about Oilers' comment. So Oilers said, congratulations on the win for the last level. A bit worried at the end when you triggered the last wave and the crickets popped up as well. Me also, I was quite concerned about that. Just sort of backed up my own reasoning that you can't really make sneaky tunnels because the enemy will also use them. There's no way of stopping the enemy from using them. And he said that, or again he or she, said that opening up the channel in the main area, which I assume is this work here is referring to, he or she, is a good idea to allow for a greater fighting area. And they even added speed tiles all along the entrance to the food queen area in prep of the second challenge. So I guess that means completely covering sort of from here. I mean, you may as well actually just do everything if you can. Cover everything up here to the entrance in speed tiles so your ants can really, really smash their way up there. So if you've got an ant down here that hatches because his original was being killed, he can hit here and he can shoot up here at a rate of knots. So I do quite like that idea as well. But down here, first of all, let's build some workers. And we will of course need a speed tile just... Oh, it's not a speed tile. That's not a speed tile. That's a speed tile. Perfect. Queen looks a little bit lonely there, but like I say, yeah, we'll surround her with speed tiles and she'll feel a little bit better for herself then, I think. So we do have lots of ants milling around. I quite like this 2-tier defense. I really like how this has ended up, you know. I'm really happy with that. Not much food left in the bank at all, is there? So do we upgrade or do we go for some speed tiles? As much of a muchness, really. I suppose it's probably worth, in the long run, doing the speed tiles, isn't it? Because if you can get ants coming up here faster, that's what's really going to matter at the end of the day. So how many of these are we going to get down before we run out of food completely? Can you upgrade speed tiles as well to make them super speedy? I'm guessing you can you? And to the food. Ah, there we go. We've ran out of food there, look. We do have this nice little road. I will fill the rest of it in when I get some more food, but for now we'll leave that there, I suppose. Cool. So there should be nothing. Oh, there's one little dude. Gonna send an absolute army after you, mate. Jesus. Off you go. Look at that, look. Thumb. Dead. Gone. What are you playing at? Idiot. Let's bring them back in. Let's see how much food that... It might give us enough food to do another speed tile, you know. Can you upgrade the speed tiles? You can upgrade the speed tiles. So if we get these speed tiles upgraded, they will be absolutely banging. But for now... let's do that, and we can build a couple down here, and then we'll run out. So yeah, we'll fill the rest of this in with speed tiles, and this little... because this one down here is actually quite far. Why did I build that so far? Oh, because they're already... yeah, I didn't really have to build it. I could have built it a good couple up, couldn't I? Would have made them, given them the chance to get out there a little bit faster. I kind of wasted a bit of space. I immediately regret that, but, you know, I sort of already set those wheels in motion last time, didn't I? I fooled myself. Yeah, I should have started from there, so I just had the one space between those two nests. Ah, well, is what it is. Looks quite nice at least, doesn't it? So I think for now I'll probably leave that there. Quite a short video, just working on the formicarium. But the next level is Rising Tide, and I think that's probably going to take us, one, a fair bit of time to do the level on its own, and we're already over 10 minutes in. And two, I'm probably going to need a few attempts as well, so I need to psych myself up for it. Queen of the Hill was the aphids one, wasn't it? That one wasn't so bad the first time round, as far as I recall. I suspect having the added hard difficulty and plus the challenge mode when we get to it as well, I think will be quite difficult. I think I have done Rising Tide in challenge mode before in normal difficulty, and that was a pain just because you have very set paths you can go down in Rising Tide. So when they have the because it's not the mole crickets, is it? It's the... oh, I can't do it yet. It's the sand burrowing things which sort of pop up and get your ants as they walk past. So there's a bit of a discussion previously when I did that on whether you should focus on trying to get rid of those, which can be a pain, or whether you just ignore them and let your ants get killed by them and just suffer the losses sort of thing. Absorb the losses and move on rather than spending the time trying to kill them. So any advice you have on doing Rising Tide on the hard mode or the challenge mode would be hugely appreciated, because I think I might struggle a little bit to start with. So let's get some advice in there to start, and hopefully it won't take me as many attempts as it did to do New Home. New Home. I always want to say New Hope. I get Antz and Star Wars very much confused. I did actually... oh, a brief update on my ant colony, I suppose. I did, the reason I thought of it was because my main queen, the main queen of the colony with the 50 or 60 workers, I did call Amidala, obviously the queen from Phantom Menace and the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, which seems to wind a lot of people up that I called her that. But there we go. So my ants are doing very well. I have got them set up. They've had a good amount of protein now. They're having all their honey and stuff like that, so they have eaten quite a lot of protein, so I'm hoping they'll start developing the larvae that are in there. I'm hoping the queen will start laying more eggs soon as well. Has got a bit nippier here, so I have got a second heat mat. So I've got one heat mat just slightly underneath, just a corner of the heat mat underneath a little bit of the test tube they're in, just to give them a little bit of heat, but without just really overly heating up the tube and causing a lot of condensation and potentially doing damage to them because it's so hot. And then I've got one pressed up against the home that I'm hoping they'll move into at some point. There have been no progress on them moving into the new home at all. They are steadfastly living in the test tube still. So they have explored it. They've definitely been... I've seen them go into the entrance to the new nest. They just haven't moved in there. So I think my plan is, and if there are any ant keepers out there, do let me know if this is a stupid plan or not. But my plan is to... If you didn't see the setup in the video I did before, so I've got the test tube connected by a Y connector to two plastic worlds. So there's the out world, which is a little bit wider, a little bit flatter, and that's where obviously their food and water goes, and where I hope they will use for a rubbish dump, which they're just putting everything in a test tube at the moment. It's going to get horrible in there, even more horrible. And then there's the formicarium itself, which has got a little tiny outworld, just a sliver of an outworld area, and then a nest made of Ytong or Etong, or however you pronounce it, I'm not too sure. So my plan is to block off the outworld entrance so they can't go in there, put some food and some additional water in the formicarium's outworld area, and then essentially smoke them out of their current one. Not actually with smoke though. So put the heat mat like much more fully underneath the rear of the test tube they're in, and over the course of I don't know how long, half a day maybe, creep that forward, and hopefully that rise in temperature will kind of force them to move the eggs out of the test tube they're in. It's a technique I did see, I'm pretty sure it was the Antz Canada guy do when he was trying to move his colony into a new nest. He had a heat cable, so he could wrap the cable around the test tube and then just sort of feed it up slightly. So what I'm thinking is, if the heat of the bottom mat underneath the test tube isn't enough to force them to move, I could always take the other heat mat that's against the formicarium and then put that on top of the test tube to create a lot more of a surrounding heat effect, and then push those up together. So I might try that. I think that'll be fairly safe. I don't think they are, I say heat mats, they are just tiny 2-watt ones, so they don't kick out enough heat to, they're not going to burn anything. Mainly they're going to cause them to be hopefully slightly uncomfortable and force them to move. So that's the plan. And if I do it quite slowly and staggered, it'll give them a chance to move the eggs out of the way in time. When I did originally put the heat mat under the test tube, I did have it towards where the cotton wool is, between the sort of the living area and the water area. And when I put it there, they did move the eggs up from there, or the larvae up from there, so I'm thinking that shows me they are willing to move. Where I've tried before to really shine bright lights on them to get them to feel discouraged and not safe in their environment, they just don't care. They don't care about lights, this colony. I think they probably grew up originally in a very light environment, and certainly when they were here, because they refused to move into the lovely dark environment provided for them and stayed in their lovely bright test tube, they have lived the entire time, apart from their winter months, in the light. So that's my plan. Again, if you do keep ants, or if you have any experience, do let me know if that's a foolish plan or not. It'd be much appreciated. But I am going to leave that there. I feel like I've whittled on for a little bit at the end there, so sorry if that bored you a little bit. Hopefully, being into an Antz of the Empires of the Undergrowth game, a little bit of knowledge and backstory on my existing ant colonies is also what you're here for. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed that's the case. So if you've enjoyed this video with our little formicarium update, do let me know down below. I think what I'll do is I will probably from here up to here maybe, or maybe we'll join up here, and then this little short area here, or maybe we'll do that then, do that one and that one there, to give these two nests a quicker route into the fighting area. And any enemies are still going to come down the main route, because that's still a shorter route to the queen, isn't it? That's my thinking. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, do click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you didn't see my ant update video when I first brought them back for winter, I don't think it was the last video, I think the video before, if you check the comments there'll be a link to the video there. The video isn't public, so if you just check my channel you won't see it. You'll have to actually go to the description of the video to click the link there, because I did make it, is it private or what's the other one? I don't think it's private, because I think only people with a link can see it. So it is open to everyone, you just need to know where to look, sort of thing. So go do check that out. If you can't find it, let me know in the comments, and I can always do another comment or another link in the description for this video if I forget to do that in the first place. So do leave your comments down below as to whether you'd like to see what you'd like to see here and here, and also advice on my home colony, and advice maybe on this bit here, and advice on if you like the general setup of these speed tiles. I did follow Euler's advice quite heavy-handedly there, so hopefully that's the right thing to do. I'm assuming that doesn't speed up enemy workers or enemy attackers as well. That'll be a bit of a kick in the teeth, wouldn't it? Now don't forget, I do stream every Wednesday at 6 PM, so come along and say hello there. Otherwise, I'll see you next time in Empires of the Undergrowth, where we shall do Rising Tide in hard mode. And as always, a massive and huge thank you for joining me.